Hello viewers, this is part 2 of my series for Android app development for beginners. In part 1, I went through on how you can install Android Studio. In this video, I'll demonstrate on how you can develop your first app. Once you have installed Android Studio, open up Android Studio and you should see this window. To create a new project, you click on Start New Android Studio Project. In the Create New Project window, enter your app name under application name. So I enter example app as my application name. And for company domain, you can enter your website name and click next. We will be developing for phone and tablet, so ensure that phone and tablet is checked. Then click empty activity and click next. Under activity name, I'll just leave it as main activity, and for layout name, I'll just leave it as activity main. Ensure that generate layout file is checked and click finish. Once you have created a new project, you should see this window. Now the main tab that you will be mostly working with is Android. If you don't see this Android tab, for instance, I just select one of these. If you don't see this Android tab, you can click on here and click Android. Now let me introduce you to layouts and activities. A layout defines your app's user interface. That is, how a screen on your app should look like. This is the place where you add your buttons and input fields such as text boxes and radio buttons. An activity, on the other hand, combines a layout with code that tells the app what to do when you interact with the layout, such as when you click on a button. Let's go to the actual code to see what I mean. So for the layout, which is under the layout folder, we have activity underscore main.xml, which is our layouts file. Double click on that and you see your app's user interface. Here you can add views such as the text view, buttons to the layout by dragging it. As for the activity file, you can find the file located in the first folder under the Java folder, which in our case is called main-activity.java. In the main-activity.java file, you have this set content view. This code loads your layout into the activity. So it loads our activity main.xml file, which is this one, into the activity. As for the logic for the activity, it will go anywhere inside this class. You can enter the logic for your activity here, anywhere inside this class, or you can enter it here as well. Now you know what a layout and an activity is, we can now develop our first app. The app we'll be developing in this tutorial today is an app that adds two numbers. So go to your activity main.xml file and just click on this text view and delete it. Now we can add a button to this layout. Just click on buttons and drag a button to the layout. Now you can give an ID to this button so that we can refer to it later. We'll call it btn add. And you can set the text of the button. Under text view, text, click on this and change the text name. Let's call it add. Now we have changed the name of the button. So our button will accept two values. So we need to have two text inputs. So click on text, plain text, and drag it into the layout. Shift this to center and drag another one. And let's add a text view so that we can display the answer when the button is clicked. Let's call this txt answer. Now we have designed our layout, but we have these errors here. These errors is because we have not actually defined a constraint for our views. What this means is that we haven't actually set the alignment for these views. So to solve this error, you just click on a view, point to one of these dots here. When it turns green, drag it to the edge. Now we have aligned this to the bottom of the screen. Now if you just drag this one to the top, it center aligns it, and you can just shift it like this. Now let's do this for the horizontal ones as well. After setting the constraint for each of the views, you should have solved the error. Now we have a warning sign here which says hard-coded string. Should use add string. What this means is because we have directly entered the string for the text, what we should have done is use the strings.xml. So we need to just copy this tag here and edit the name. We'll call it str btn add and the value of the text here. Add. To use this str btn add tag we just created, just go to the layouts file and make sure you click on the view. I'll click on the button in this case, and under the text field press add string, and you should see this pop out. Select the name of your string, which is str_btn add. Now let's do the same for the other views. Okay, for this input text field, we don't actually want to have any text, but we want to have a hint. For instance, I just type the hint here, num1. You should see a light colored text. Okay, because this is an input field, we don't want any text in the input field. Okay, now just create the tag in the strings.xml file for that one as well, and we'll call this str num1 and the value of the hint number 1. Now let's just reference this tag in our layouts file. Go back to the layouts file and then add string and select the name of the string strnum1. Once we have designed the layout, the next step is to add the code into the activity. So stay tuned for the next video where I'll show you on how to write the code so that your app knows what to do when a button is clicked. Subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so you can be alerted when I upload my next video.